spending double of what I used to earn when I was employed. But I don't feel that way. Alright, welcome back to a brand new video, and if you're new to the channel, welcome to you too. This is a place where I share what it's like being a full-time day trader from Guyana. And more importantly, I share tips on how to trade, not how to be right and know the most about trading, but just how to trade and make money. Because to be honest, I'm in trading to make money, not to be right, not to sound like the smartest guy in the room or that I know more than the other guy. I take pride in not knowing everything about trading. So it just goes to show that maybe you don't need to know everything about trading in order to make money. You just need to know the right things. But hey, if that sounds like something you would like to learn more about, then hit the subscribe button, because every video is going to be like that. Just the main points. But so far, it's Thursday, the 6th of November, and it's currently 7:25 a.m. New York time. I only look for trades at 9:30 and beyond, but I wanted to create a separate video giving a breakdown of the week thus far, and to also have a conversation about progress that maybe persons overlook or could possibly change the way you view progress. Like, it's not linear. It's not something that's going straight up or straight down or straight wherever direction you want it to go. Progress just looks different from when you started. Now, different isn't always better, because your perception of what better is can change as you get older and stuff. But I just need you to understand that progress is not +1 every day. Sometimes progress will still be -1, right? It might be -1 3 consecutive days. So in the sense of trading, we would like it to be we're making money every day. We would like it to be we're finding a trade every day. We would like it to be that we're passing an account or making a withdrawal every day. And to be honest, a lot of the influencers on social media try to make it look that way, that they're withdrawing every day or every week or every month, and they're making 100% returns on their account every month. And these are the persons that are showing you about trading. You know, they're opening 100 trades for some reason when you could just open one trade with the same lot size. Like, it's more work, right? But it looks nicer. It looks nicer when you see $101 or $105 instead of just $500. So I guess it's a marketing thing. It's supposed to look like you're always going to be in the green or in the blue. But in reality, even the days when you're in the red, as long as you're at a certain point in your trading journey, you will be seeing a bit more progress from the red days than the green days. And what I mean by that is that once you understand your system, you understand your approach, you understand the things that you look for, when a red day happens, it's kind of exciting, because to you, there's only so many ways you can lose. And when that red day happens, you understand how to interpret your data. You understand how to make the necessary changes to suit your system, your approach to the market. You understand what would be changing your system entirely or just making a tweak. And when you're at that stage, you can only learn what not to do from a red day. You can only learn what to change or what to improve on from a red day. The green days or the blue days don't actually give you that insight into what you're doing wrong. They might even give you an insight into what you're doing right, but in trading, you could be wrong more times than you can be right. That's the reality, right? There's so many ways you can be wrong, and there's just so little ways you can be right. In fact, we try to narrow down and keep our trading as, I want to say, systemic as possible. Systemic or systematic? One of them words, as possible, to avoid the multiple times that we can be wrong. For example, trading during a specific time window. So if we are wrong, we are wrong within this time window, so we can limit the amount of times that we're wrong, because when we're outside of that time window, based on our data, we lose more. You understand? Or maybe trading a specific pair, a currency pair, or indices, or metal, or whatever the case is, you learn how it moves, you learn what days you lose on, you learn what time you lose on, you learn what instrument you lose on, you learn if you lose during news, you learn if you were more better buyer than a seller or a better seller than a buyer. And you can only learn these things from the red days, from the losses. When you beat yourself up and say, oh, I could have won that trade. How is it possible that I lost that trade? I followed my system. I followed my rules. I followed every single soul thing, but I still lost. you are making progress. That's the reality. You are making progress because when you study that particular trade where you followed all your rules, you remain disciplined in all the 9 yards, but you still lost. I can almost guarantee it that that won't happen again in the future. Even if you lose a trade again in the future where you followed all your rules and you did everything you were supposed to do, it will not be the same as that last one. In fact, that last one will probably help you prevent a couple more losses because you took this loss and you studied your information. You didn't beat yourself up. You didn't say you're stupid because you follow your rules. You already passed that stage. I think there's more stages to trading than people talk about. I heard about the 3 stages. You're beginning and you're now learning. Then you're at that point where you're understanding things, but it starts to get hard and you feel like giving up. And then, the joyous part where you're making thousands of dollars a day and stuff. But I think it's much, much, much more before you get to the joyous part. And I don't even think that there is a joyous part. I just think that the persons that are making thousands of dollars a day now, they will be making hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands in the future. But it's not that they're at their victory point or this is the end of the game. There is no end of the game. They had more capital to trade with than others. That's why they're making thousands of dollars. Or that's why they're making tens of thousands of dollars. But as long as you stick to your discipline, you can get to that point. You can get to the point where you're making thousands of dollars a day in trading, but only if you study your losses. They were at the point where they may be making hundreds of dollars in trading and they're able to notice patterns in their results. And from studying their data, they're now able to grow their account or source more capital to have a larger account and then place larger trades. I don't believe anyone can get to that point without studying their own data. It's so important to learn this about your system and about yourself because let's say compounding, for example, right? If you are looking to grow an account, let's say you have $100 and you're looking to grow it to 1,000, right? Something realistic. If you do not study your data to know, okay, I take, for example, max consecutive losses is 3 or 4 trades, right? In your $100, if you're risking, let's say 5% per trade, you would not choose to double down on your second trade or on your third trade because you've had 3 consecutive losses or on your fourth trade because you know your max losses, your consecutive losses based on your own data is 4. You will only know that from the red days. You're only going to know your max loss from the red days. And that's very, very important because it can happen. Like I said, you can go through a loss where you followed all your rules. But suppose that happens 2-3 times consecutively. You would trip. You would trip if you never back tested, if you never forward tested, if you never recorded your data to know that, okay, this is normal. I actually been through 4 months in 2022. I'm just hypothetical right here, but I've been through 4 months in 2022 where I lost 4 consecutive trades month after month after month, and I still ended the month profitable. Because my risk to reward ratio remains constant. The amount that I'm risking per trade remains constant. The setup that I look for remains constant. The rules that I follow remains constant. I have nothing to worry about. The stats are there. The data is there. I understand how to add and subtract. What would I be worrying about? I take 2, 3, 4 losses. That's completely fine. I'll win everything back in 2 trades. Now my psychology is better. My approach to the market is more long-term, so that the short-term wins or the short-term losses doesn't have that large of an effect on my psychology, on my mood. Because I understand that even sometimes I will have 3 consecutive or 4 consecutive winning trades. That shouldn't be anything to get me in a different mood or a different mindset, like I am crushing it or anything like that, because my data shows I've had 4 consecutive wins and could still get 6 losses in the month, right? And barely above break even for that month, even though I started that month with 4 consecutive wins. It's not about the short term. Progress is not linear. If you experience 4 consecutive losses, that doesn't mean you're going back in your progress. It still means you're going forward. It's not about going up or down. It's about moving forward. You heard the thing, 2 steps forward and 1 step backward? That is progress. I believe it is not left and right. It is not up and down. but it is forward and backward. It is not just forward, because 2 steps forward and 1 step back is still 1 step ahead of where you were. You need to understand, if you take 5 steps forward, you're going to take 4 back. So if you see somebody take 33 steps forward, oh boy. You understand? But hey, just to change your approach towards progress. And the whole reason as to why I decided to make a video like this is recently I did some, I was searching through my banking information. And for this year, I thought I made much less withdrawals than last year, but they were smaller. This year it was much smaller withdrawals. I took much less trades, didn't pass many accounts. I think I only passed 1 prop firm account for this entire year. I had 1 payout for this entire year from a prop firm. But it turns out that I've actually made more money this year than I ever did when I first started trading, when I was employed. And it just goes to show that I was looking at it like I'm at a loss this year. I haven't made money, or I spent more money than I've made, and I was wrong, because I was looking for a big lump sum. I was looking for that big withdrawal this year. I was looking for something to justify my progress, when in reality, the losses that I'm taking, because it's more, and because I'm focusing on the losses, and because I'm spending money, I am not seeing it as progress. But once I zoom out and look at the broader picture from 2019, 2020, all the way to 2025, I'm earning more money now when I'm self-employed than I was when I was employed. Sometimes we can't see our progress. Sometimes we might be beating ourselves up for not doing enough, when on the outside, people looking in and saying, bro, that's progress. You know, I know that it's kind of unrelated, me mentioning my flapping bank statements and stuff like that, but this is how I'm tying it into trading. So when I was working, I used to feel like I was living paycheck to paycheck. I used to feel like I'm getting money, but I need to spend that money out, or I already accounting for spending that money before I even got it. So the bills and you know, daily expenses, whatever the case is. And I wasn't feeling like I was saving any money, or I was progressing in any way. I earned this much, but I didn't have this much. Now, it's kind of still the same thing. Like, I'm earning more now, but I still don't have that much more now. I have more than what I had when I was employed. And to me, that felt like I wasn't making any progress. But when I zoomed out, I was like, hold up, wait a minute. I am doubling what I used to earn when I was employed, and I don't even feel that way. I am spending double of what I used to earn when I was employed, but I don't feel that way. And in trading, you're going to start earning and start losing double what you are losing today, and double what you're earning today, but it won't feel that way. You might still feel like you're not making any progress. Sometimes you might grow your account to, let's say, 1,000, 10K, or even $100. You know, let's try to cater for everybody, because I'm being real, not everybody could deposit $100 into their trading account. But the persons who can't deposit $100 can still learn the skills necessary. You don't need a lot of money. You can practice on demo account. You can trade with $30 or $50, and you might not be able to grow it, but you will be able to learn. And that is still growing. That is still progression. That is progress, just not the way that we want to see it. Because once you grow your account to $100 or $500 or 10K, you can lose it all in a day, right? You could really and truly lose it all in a day. I hope not. I hope that you understand risk management and you understand how to calculate your risk and everything behind it. But it can happen. Even if you don't lose all, let's say you lose 50%. 50% of $1,000 is going to be far larger than 50% of $100, but you grew it to that stage. So even though you had a much bigger loss, the biggest loss you've ever had in your life, just try to picture you had to grow to get to that stage, to have such a big loss. There is progress. You are progressing. It does not need to look like 10 million today, 20 million tomorrow, 30 million the next day. It does not. It does not. It more realistically will look like 10 million today, 11 million tomorrow, then minus 10 million the next day, or minus 9 million the next day. So in the 3 days, you actually just earned $2 million, you know, but it went all the way up to 13, but you earned 2. At the end of the month, you might end with 36. You just don't know. You can end with 36 or 6. You just don't know. Or you might end with 14. It's not really random, but it is for sure not linear. It's not a straight line, right? It's like forward, backward, forward, backward, forward, backward, forward, backward, and you see me moving forward still. Or is this direction? Whichever direction is forward for you. You understand the concept? I think that we all have data like this that we can use. It doesn't have to be bank statements. Sometimes it might be bank statements, but it could be a broker statement as well. You know, that email that your broker sends to you at the end of every month. You can go through it. You can study the trades that you've placed. You can study your P&L for that month. And even if it's a losing P&L, look at it from the month before. Is it a larger loss? Is it a smaller loss? What can you learn? Did you make any mistakes? Can you go over your trades itself on TradingView or MT5 or wherever you analyze your charts? Could you go over it and learn something from that loss, from that entire month of losing and winning? Could you learn anything that will improve your results for the next month? But hey, I ain't gonna drag on this one. It's supposed to give you all a trade breakdown, but I actually didn't take any trades. So I was just going to give you a breakdown of why I didn't take any trades. So I don't think that's necessary. And this video is already long, so if you made it this far, then I truly appreciate you. And I'll definitely catch you in the next video, which should be an update of the rest of this week, how it's going. So hope this one helped. Until next time. Peace.
Bye. Have a great time.